So today is a very interesting point I am going to take with you. Just give me 1 second. So the topic which I have chosen today is ये इसको लगा देना उधर, is how we are advancing vocational education and training in India. Yeah. So let me begin with the institution which I am currently representing is PSSCIVE Bhopal. I think you can see this beautiful small family of our institution, which has all the most of our employees, including consultant and technical staff. And this is very, one of the memorable moments in the history of this institution is that we were celebrating the silver jubilee of our institution, and this is the photograph of this particular historic moment. Our institute is basically
The slide is not moving, sir.
Sir,
Now
the
it-
slide is not.
now.
Because this is the first slide we are able to see. Yeah, now it is there.
Can you see now? Now, can you confirm?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Yes.
Okay. You can please give me feedback in case there is some technical glitches. Sometime it happens. So PSSCIV is basically a constituent unit of National Council of Education, Research and Training. As all of us know, NCERT, New Delhi. And we all are product of some way of NCERT. We all have studied in our schools. So this is the main umbrella parent organization, and NCERT has 8 constituent units. They are working in different, places in India, and particularly for vocational education, this is the only institution when it comes to school education. I repeat, when it comes to vocational education, especially in the school, this is the only institution which has the mandate to take care of vocational education. You'll be also pleased to know that it is one of the leading UniVoc International Network Center in India. There are many roles which we do. So one of the primary role of this institution is advisory role. So we advise regarding all the policies of vocational education in India, how it should be done, what should be done, how the things should take in entire India. So all that policy goes to Ministry of Education from this institution. Second primary role this institution is engages developmental role. And here we spend a lot of time and energy on developing our courseware curriculum, which I will be talking to you in a while. Apart from that, like NITTTR, we also have throughout the year training program for variety of the people who are associated with vocational education and training system. So right from directors to ground up to the teachers, we are all organizing a series of programs encompassing different facet and aspect of vocational education. In addition, we also do research activity. We also do extension activity, including publications, journals, and many other things which any academic institution does about it. So this is just a brief context setting what this institution is all about it. But my topic today, which I am going to discuss, is little background we will discuss, the context in which this thematic area I have chosen, then how we are advancing vocational education and training in India. Then we will see more precisely the greening, because the entire focus of your program is on greening entrepreneurship. So how greening can be done in technical and vocational education and training. So what are the new initiatives that our institution has taken that I will be sharing. I'll be also touching upon the green entrepreneurship curriculum. All those things I'll be touching upon here. And I'll be also candid in telling you what are the success factors we are able to think about it. and what major challenges I faced while implementing all these things. And finally, some way forward and then some concluding remarks I'll be sharing with you. So, friends, by this time, there is no need to give you the data and statistics and all that. You are all knowing that entire world, I repeat, entire world is witnessing the climate change in some way or another way. And it is disrupting many aspects of our life. And you know, in the years to come, this climate change is going to impact the human in a big way. And particularly when it comes to our region, which is Asia Pacific region, you can see here the risk level, where it is extreme, where it is high, and all that one. And you will be surprised to know that India, which is located in Asia Pacific region, is in terms of from high to extreme risk for climate change. You have seen in India, even in desert, we are having snow fall recently. There are many floods, unprecedented, rains which never thought about it in different point of time. So there are many things happening on climate change is happening and all that one. And India is one of the at a very high risk to get vulnerability in terms of its impact on its everything and all that. You all know India is 1.39 billion country, second largest country with large proportion of youth. Now, when we look at all these numbers and statistics, India has a very ambitious target of becoming 5 trillion economy by 2024. Today we are 2021. By 2024, we wish to be 5 trillion economy.
Sir,
But when
slides are not moving. It's only second slide which is visible. Yeah, it is okay now.
now, Dr. Atul?
Yes, it is visible now.
Okay, fine. So, when we think about climate change, when we think about 5 trillion economy, there's some echo coming, somebody's microphone is on. So, India is at a crossroad. On one side, India wants to fast track economy. But at the same time, India is also committed for environment. How to ensure that the climate change or all these things are taken care, at the same time protecting its environment, and at the same time ensuring that we attain the 5 trillion economy growth rate and all those things are all that. So India is standing at a very crossroad, and this is very, very important that we address all these things. Now the question comes to all of us is that when we are at a crossroad, why we are at a crossroad? There are hundreds of reasons we can give why we are at a crossroad. One of the major reasons, I believe, is that our focus has always been on economic growth. I repeat, our entire focus was always on economic growth. Our conditioning, our mindset, our education has always focused on economic growth. We never bothered about the environmental aspect of our entire ecosystem. And that's why I believe that the crisis today of this unsustainability, we cannot solve by the kind of education which has created this problem. Because every country is fighting for GDP growth without bothering about the environment and all that. And I think this gives rise to all of us that we need a new way of thinking, new methodology of teaching, and also a new content to create a sustainable future. I think the time has come that until and unless we change our thinking, change our methodology of adopting, thinking about the new content, what we are trying to do, it will be difficult for all of us to have a sustainable future for our generation. Now, to attain this particular aspect, we already have the action agenda by Government of India. It is not that Government of India is not doing anything. There are many things Government of India is doing, and you will be very pleased to know that there are two action agenda Government of India has already put in a form of policy. And the first policy which I'm going to highlight is the National Skill Development and Entrepreneurship 2015. Today we are in 2021. So 2015 is a policy mainly focused on national skill development and entrepreneurship. The main focus of this policy was on how to create an ecosystem of empowerment by skilling on a large scale, speed with high standards, and to promote a culture of innovation-based entrepreneurship. I think this is very, very important. Innovation-based entrepreneurship, which can generate wealth and employment so as to ensure sustainable livelihood for all the citizens in the country. So this is one policy framework which Government of India has taken. And I think the second, which you are already familiar by this time, is the National Education Policy 2020. We are all now in the last 4 days deliberation, many speakers must have highlighted to you that this policy is focusing on India-centric education, basically transforming our national sense sustainably into equitable, vibrant, knowledge society by providing high-quality education to all. And this is where this action agenda has come forward. Let's just dwell a little bit on the, because we are talking about entrepreneurship and skill development, because they go hand in hand. So I will take 1 or 2 slides on this. What is this National Skill Development Policy is all about it. So as you have seen, in this particular policy, there are 2 major components. One is the skill development component, and another is the entrepreneurship development component, and for which I think this program is focusing on this one. Now, when it comes to the skill development, you'll be pleased to know that as per the directives from the Government of India, all the ministries, all the organizations of Government of India have to connect themselves with the skill development mission of Government of India. And you will be happy to know that every ministry, whether it is rural ministry, agriculture ministry, fishery ministry, education ministry, you name it, and you will find that some way or other way, they are all connected with this national mission on Skill India. And the second is on the entrepreneurship component. Now, when it comes to entrepreneurship development component, the policy highlight about promoting entrepreneurial culture through advocacy and integration as a part of formal and skill education. So I think what we are trying to do through this particular program, FDP, AICT FDP program, is basically we are trying to promote the advocacy for entrepreneurship. The second important pillar of this policy is enhanced support for entrepreneurs in terms of credit and market linkages and social enterprises, and improve ease of doing businesses. I think you already know it is much easier now if you are going to launch your enterprise or organizations or startup and all that. It has become very, very easy. You don't have to go through the rudimentary long process and formalities and all that. So improving the ease of doing is one of the recommendations of this pillar of national policy. And last but not the least, it is also suggesting ways to further boost up entrepreneurship, particularly for women, including socially, geographically marginalized and disadvantaged groups. So it is not only a section of the people, but holistically, including the minority people and everything, will be brought under this particular promotion of entrepreneurship. You must have by this time familiar with, there are many schemes, Government of India's support for innovation and entrepreneurship. Like I hope the slides are visible.
No, sir, slides
it
are
is
not
stagnant.
moving.
Not changing.
Oh,
We could see only the 4th slide.
why it is happening? Maybe Atul is not allowing me to speak,
Sir, from second slide it was not moving. From the second slide itself.
The
Second-
economy and environment crossroad was the last slide, sir. We are watching.
Oh my dear, why it is happening today? अभी अभी ये दिखाई दे रहा है? Can you see this now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
मुझे लगता है अगली स्लाइड जैसे मैं बोलूंगा आप मुझे हाँ बोल दिया करिए ताकि आई कैन नो. Okay, I hope you are enjoying.
Certainly,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Certainly.
Yes, sir.
Anyway, you have no choice except to say yes.
Sir, please show
Not that,
all
sir.
slides once.
पीछे क्या चाहिए?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Sir, second slide हम लोग को दिखा नहीं. After that, we are not. You can just scroll after.
ये देखिए मैं पीछे I am going by slideshow now. ये हो गया. This is okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
This is okay.
Sir, it's only showing one slide.
It is not moving, sir.
Not
It's the
moving,
government
sir.
of India support for innovation and entrepreneurship. That slide is there.
Yeah. Before this, one slide. This was the third or fourth. Second slide also was not there.
अभी ये दिखाई दे रहा है?
It's on the fourth slide. Yes, sir.
ओके. ये देखा आपने? ठीक है.
It's not changing, sir.
अभी भी नहीं. अभी
No, no, sir.
Next.
Maybe you need not use the slideshow, sir. You can use outside the slide.
Instead of slideshow, you can just click on the particular slide in the slide bar, which is there, which is showing there on the left side.
ये दिखाई दे रहा है कि नहीं?
It is
Only the fourth slide we can see, sir.
We can see the climate change and vulnerability. That slide.
My goodness, why it is happening today? Can I restart this?
Sir, no, sir.
Share
You
your
can just
entire screen. I
individually.
think that may solve your problem. Please share your entire screen.
Okay, entire screen. कहाँ गया entire screen? Okay, you entire screen पे गया, but entire screen, you see, this is the problem with entire screen.
We can see the first slide, sir.
हाँ ठीक है. अभी ये दिखाई दे रहा
Ah,
है?
yes, sir.
हाँ
Now
सर
we
देख
can.
अब दिख
Yes,
चेंज
sir.
हो रही है।
अभी सब दिख रहा है?
हाँ
Yes,
सब
sir.
दिख रहे हैं सर।
ये भी ठीक है? ये बात कर
Yes,
चुका हूँ
yes.
मैं. ये भी ठीक
Yes, sir,
है?
it is changing, sir. Now slides are changing.
Okay. देखिए, I have to learn from all of you. मुझे लगता है मुझे भी FDP करना चाहिए. अतुल जी, please register me now.
Sir, we are also learning in the same phase. Online is something new for all of us.
चलिए. I hope now this is visible.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. चलिए. Okay. I hope you are enjoying. Can I continue?
Sure, sir.
Yes, sir. Sure, sir.
तो अभी तक जो है ना, I have discussed to you about the four major pillars of policy on entrepreneurship component. I'll just take again this particular slide because there was a gap. So first is, this policy strongly advocate of promoting entrepreneurial culture. See, शब्दों पे ध्यान दीजिए. Listen to the words. Entrepreneurial culture through advocacy and integration as a part of formal skill education. तो आप सब जो इस प्रोग्राम में अटेंड कर रहे हैं, all of you, those who are attending this particular program, this is the thrust that you have to take forward agenda. So after this particular program, I expect that you will take forward this particular aspect, how you can continue the entrepreneurial culture and all those things. Entrepreneurial culture, अपने आप में, this can be, a big area where we can have a lot of discussions, a lot of deeper understanding how we can promote entrepreneurial culture among the educational institution. दूसरा था supporting the entrepreneurs in terms of credit, market linkages, social enterprises, ease of doing business, and further reaching out to the people who are marginalized, disadvantaged people, women, all those people, minority people, all those things can be covered under this last component of boosting all that. Now, in order to do all these things, already Government of India has many schemes which support innovation and entrepreneurship. This is at a national level I am talking about it. There are state level also. You will find that many states, depending upon the geography, depending upon their growth, depending upon the resource, raw material availability, and many factors are there. They have also encouraged entrepreneurship. And they have another set of scheme which also support innovation and entrepreneurship in their own way. But these schemes I am referring is at a national level, like Startup India. Honorable Prime Minister has launched this one to attract the young talent to connect with startup. And you think if you see the numbers and all that, India is progressing very high, very fast. Second is Make in India. I think you already know the Make in India. And when we talk about now, there is one more, we call it as Atmanirbhar Bharat. That is also, one more way we can talk about innovations and entrepreneurship. Then Atal Innovation Mission, support to training and employment program for women. So this is exclusively for women, this STEP program. Then Biotechnology Industry Research Assistance Council, then trade-related entrepreneurship assistance and development. So these are some schemes, I am just highlighting, but there are many more schemes which highlight the promotion of entrepreneurship in India and all that one. Now coming back to what I am trying to discuss with you. This is the first part. I talked to you about skill development. I talked to you about entrepreneurship and all that. Now I come back to the skill development. When I told you that Government of India has already launched the Skill India Mission. And in order to promote this Skill India Mission, all the ministries and organizations got connected with Skill India Mission. And under the policy, one of the major development which happened was the creation of National Skill Qualification Framework. And as you can see here, National Skill Qualification Framework was the first thing which was happened after a long struggle. Why I'm saying you long struggle, you will be surprised to know India is one country where at one point of time, 2 qualification frameworks were running. One was offered by Ministry of Labor and another by Ministry of Education. And this is the first time it so happened that we are now having a one comprehensive policy and framework for all of us and all that. Now, why I'm highlighting here, if you see on the left corner of the screen, this is the place where the National Skill Qualification Framework begins. And this is exactly the bottom of the pyramid or bottom of the framework or starting of the framework. That is where my institution come into the picture. So you'll be happy to know that we are actually creating the foundation for the National Skill Qualification Framework. So classes 9 to class 12, this is our target group on which we are currently working under the National Skill Qualification Framework. Now, when we talk about greening entrepreneurship, when we talk about preparing the youth, which we are trying to become the entrepreneurship, I think we should also look at holistically. And you already know that Sustainable Development Goal 2030. And India is also one of the signatory for this Sustainable Development Goal 2030. And India is among the few countries in the world which is highly committed in realizing these goals. And that's why in order to realize this Sustainable Development Goal, we strongly believe catching them young is very, very important. And particularly vocational education reforms, we believe is one of the most important tools in realizing this Sustainable Goal 2030 and sustainability. And second important thing is the purpose of introducing all these things is we would like to increase the environmental awareness. We would like to aware about the environment friendly technologies, changing their mindset and how they can prepare themselves for the green occupations which are going to come in the near future. This is very, very important. Until and unless we decide on this thing, it will be very difficult to realize this thing. You know, today's youth are our future workforce. Today's youth are our future entrepreneurs. So until and unless they are aware about the environmental aspect, the environmental technologies and all that one, changing their mindset is going to play a very, very, very significant role if you really want to convert them into entrepreneurs and all that one. Because, you know, they are the one going to be the consumer of natural resources. And if you can educate them that if you consume the natural resources without any, you know, control, it is going to damage the environment. It is also going to create a lot of problem for all of us in terms of our sustainable growth and all that one, including entrepreneurs. You know, because when the entrepreneur is going to come up with a fresh idea, bright idea, he has to also think that whatever he is going to produce using the natural resources, it is not damaging the environment. He should adopt the technologies which is environmental friendly, bring out with the product which are, you know, good for the health, good for the society, good for the people, good for the environment. And this is also very, very important when we talk about vocational education reforms and all that. So what we are trying to do now, this is where I'm going to give you like a case what actually we are doing on the ground and all that. Now this is our institution, the picture of our institution that you can see here. This is our main building of our campus. I will request all of you, you can visit our website and get a virtual tour of our campus online while sitting at home. So what we are trying to do is, I am talking about greening technical and vocational education and training. Now, in order to do so, what we have done is, we have adopted the international framework that is known as UNESCO UNIVOC Greening Tibet Framework, and it has 5 major components. So I am going to deliberate upon in the next few slides. The first one is on green campus. Second is on green curriculum and training. Then green community, green research, and finally the green culture. Now, in order to promote the advocacy, we have also formulated the green policy. And this green policy highlight that PSSCIV envisioned that Tibet institution would vigorously explore and develop practical knowledge and green skills and green technology applicable into the respective service areas and all that. Let us go one component each so that what we are actually doing on the ground and all that. So in order to implement this greening movement in PSSCIV, we have divided into 4 phases. Our first phase was on getting acquainted. So information related to all greening and technical and vocational education and all that. So we started with information awareness, inventory of best practices, policy formulation development was our first part. Second thing is getting involved. So policy dissemination, implementation of projects, and improvement analysis that we have done. On the third phase, we started with infusing green, monitoring and evaluation, policy refinement, publication, integration of green Tibet in programs and curricula. And finally, we are continuing in the 4th phase now, transforming lives like community education, outreach, capacity building on green Tibet. And we are also trying to compile in the coming years on what are the lessons that we have learned and all that. So friends, the major outcome of these 4 phases will be, in the first phase, we come up with green policy, then green skills and course design, then green capacity building program, and community of practice and adopted communities. So this is how our journey is continuing when it comes to greening in PSSCIV Bhopal and all that. Let me start with the first component, that is greening campus. You know, this is a very common way and common notion when it comes to greening campus. Greening campus doesn't mean only plantation. Please understand this. Greening do not limit only plantation. It is one activity, one way of greening our campus. But there are multiple ways in which greening campus can be done. And the major thrust of greening is practicing what we preach in the campus. Like I give you example that we often practice don't use plastic. No plastic bottles. in the campus. If you visit our campus anytime, I hope you will not find any plastic bottle or any plastic bag anywhere in the campus. Because we would like to ensure that we practice what we preach in our campus. And as you can see here, these are real photographs of our campus employees, our staff. You can see me also in this particular photograph. And this is how, every year we are doing a lot of plantation and our campus is beautiful. I wish this is the best time to visit our campus because a lot of greenery you can see, especially after the monsoon and all that. And now we are also initiating the water harvesting. A lot of water comes on this hill, and we would like to see that this entire water do not get wasted, rather than, proper harvesting can be done so that it can support the entire year our activities and the gardens and other things and all that. Now, second component is on greening curriculum and training. This is of your interest. Now, as I mentioned to you on the vocationalization of school education, as I mentioned to you, Ministry of Education, I repeat here, when I say skill development, all the ministries got connected with Skill India Mission. Ministry of Education committed that we will introduce vocational education courses into the school education. And that is where our institution comes into it. Now, when it comes to the vocationalization of school education, what we have done is, after my joining, we have totally transformed the curriculum component. And I added two major components. One, I call it as employability skill development component. And second is your job specific skill development component. I think you already know that whenever employers, when you interact, industries people you interact, and they often cite that Indian students lack employability skills. And that is the reason why employability skill has become now integral component of vocational education. Now, while identifying employability skill, currently, just because you are many people from different backgrounds, so just one more information I would like to tell you is that class 9 and 10, or you can say grade 9 and 10, 200 hours are allocated for vocational education, and grade 11 and 12, 300 hours are allocated for vocational education. And now you'll be pleased to know that 37% of the time is allocated for employability skill, and 63% of the time is allocated for the vocational skill. Now, when it comes to the employability skill, we studied many national and international good practices, and we were trying to see what will be the best approach for Indian student when it comes to the employability skills. And accordingly, we identified 5 major components under employability skill. And first one is communication skill, ICT skill, self-management skill, entrepreneurial skills. Now see here that we have already introduced entrepreneurial skill among the student for the classes grade 9 to 12. And we have also included green skill for the first time in vocational education and training. And the second component is the vocational skills or sector or job specific skill that has also been included into this. So here I am highlighting you grade wise the curriculum that we have included into our programs. So you can see here, if you see here, this is class 9, and this is the learning outcomes, the theory part, the practical aspect, the number of hours allocated into the curriculum. So this is all you can see here has been highlighted very strongly and all that one. Then when you go to in a structured way from class 9, then 10, then 11 and 12, the whole content has been structured in a very comprehensive way. So this is for class 10. Similarly, you can see here for grade 11, you can see for grade 12, and you can see here every aspect of entrepreneurial career, how he or she can take as an entrepreneurial career has already been embedded into the school education. Friend, this is the first time such a comprehensive approach has been taken for introducing as a career option entrepreneurial skills from grade 9 itself. Now, this is one component I talked to you about entrepreneurial skill, but you'll also be pleased to know we included green skills also, because your program is on green entrepreneurship. So you will be happy to know that in school education, we are also talking about greening. So because the future occupations, even the entrepreneurs, everybody, all of us, some way or other way will be connected with this. And you can see here, again for grade 9, then grade 10, you will see that curriculum has been infused with green skills component. And this you can see here, grade 11, everything, e-waste, everything. Waste management, forestry, fisheries, building, transport, renewable energy, everything is, encompassed. Water management, what are the policies, green transport, green transportation, renewable energy, green construction, everything will be there. What are the green jobs, organic, gardening, public transport, energy conservation, green jobs in appropriate technology, green tourism, even, waste management, everything has been taken into aspect of green skills, because our workforce need to understand all these things. We have also talked about two major aspects when it comes to entrepreneurship: mitigation and adaptation. Because green entrepreneurs has to work on both the platform. So mitigation as well as adaptation, where entrepreneurship has a huge potential and huge growth opportunities. And we believe that this can be a wonderful way of introducing greening as well as entrepreneurship into our school curriculum. So what we are trying to do now is we have developed the learning outcome based vocational curriculum, as you can see in the first part. So this is a comprehensive document that has been done. Second, as you can see here, employability skill is another booklet that we have developed. And then finally, the job sector or specific job role textbook has been developed. You'll be happy to know that first time all these books are now getting published by NCERT. We all know what is the value of NCERT textbook, and all our books are 100% copyright free, 100% plagiarism free. So a lot of work, lot of labor has gone in bringing up a very qualitative books on this employability skill and Solenius, like on the job roles and all that. All our books you can access on our website. I have given you the website www.pssciv.ac.in. You can access to our website, and all these texts, curriculum, our employability books for classes 9 to 12, and for the different job role is already uploaded on our website, and they are all free for download and used by the students and teachers across the world. Friends, we have also come up with mobile app. We call it as e-Pathshala. So you can access to all our content, and this can be easily available to all your students and teachers, and they can also download either on mobile or on our laptop, and they can easily access to this content to what we have developed. Currently, friends, we are working on 17 sectors of Indian economy. These are the prime sectors of Indian economy. It is also, these sectors have been chosen by Ministry of Education, keeping in view the growth potential, employment growth potential. So all these things has been taken into account, and accordingly these sectors have been identified. And at present, there are 152 job roles on which we are all working about it. And this work is continuously being expanded in the coming years and also. In fact, you'll be happy to know we are going to expand by another 25 new job roles into new other sectors, which are emerging sectors like, particularly focusing on Industry 4.0, artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, big data, cloud computing, coding, many things, such kind of job role we are identifying, and that will be all now getting introduced into the school education. Friends, all our curriculum are learning outcome based. And most importantly, this curriculum has two major facets. First of all, the entire what we are all doing is under National Skill Qualification Framework. This is number one. And for that reason, all our curriculums are based on national occupation standards. So curriculum as per the labor market, as per the industry demand, and you will be happy to know that it is helping students in getting employment now. Many students are finding it easy to get employment because of this added advantage of vocational skills and employability skill. We are actively involving Sector Skill Council of all these 17 sectors in finalization of curriculum, finalization of textbook, instructional resource development, everything we are doing, including teacher training and all that. And there is a good linkages we have established with the industry. And now there is a standard assessment and certification system. So student across the India can have a standard assessment system, and that's how we are doing about it. Friends, at present, 27 states and union territories are offering vocational education programs. Almost 11,000 schools. Currently, almost 11,000 schools are offering vocational education courses in India, and this is helping to benefit 12 lakh students. Now you see all this green skill, entrepreneurship, everything, we are reaching out to 1.2 million people. Now this is just a beginning. I repeat, this is just a beginning. If you see the National Education Policy recommendation, which tells that by 2025, 50% of the learners, school education and higher education will be exposed through vocational education. So I'm very hopeful that in the coming years, all these numbers are going to be double, triple, it can be multiple fold. And these numbers are going to be increasing substantially as we are trying to reach out our target of national education policy. Now, this is related to the first component. Now, the second component we are doing is the training aspect, green curriculum. Now, I'm talking about the training component. And you can see here, this is a real photograph of the picture. And the program is on greening TBET, capacity building for greening, green technical, vocational education and training. And these are our participants. This was a national program where participants from across India has participated, and these were all policymakers, key personalities in vocational education were invited into this particular program. And we conducted this particular program and all that. Now, before can I continue?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Oh,
sir.
okay. Now, when we talk about greening technical and vocational education, and particularly when we are trying to build the capacity of the young learners, I told you we need fresh thinking. You remember my second number slide. We need a fresh thinking. We need a fresh content. And we also need a fresh approach to teaching learning. Because we talk about environment, we talk about greening, we are talking about entrepreneurship. So our approach in teaching learning also has to be very, very different. And one of the reasons what we have to change is that, first of all, we have to reduce lecturing. We have to reduce classwork, memorization, textbook approach, and abstract theory. This has to be reduced. And what we have to do, we have to increase discussion. We have to increase more debate. We have to increase problem solving, group work, critical thinking, creativity, field work, laboratory. This is the things that we have to increase. And more importantly, we have to expand the project that we are going to give to the student. We have to focus on expanding how we can invest on research and investigation. Because because they are all entrepreneurs. They have to find a business opportunity. They have to identify the solution to the problem which the society is having through their innovative ways. And that's why concept like project work, research and investigation can open up their fresh perspectives of looking at the problems, looking at the solutions also. And if you can bring these new, fresh approaches in our teaching learning, then only I think we can really do the promotion of entrepreneurship, particularly green entrepreneurship. Now, the third component I am talking about is greening research and technology. You know, you'll be pleased to know that my institution will be now establishing 100 megawatt solar panel on our campus. All our rooftop will be installed with solar panel. And it is going to supply 100 megawatt electricity to our entire campus. In fact, you know, we are going to save a lot of electricity bill and all that. In fact, whatever saving we are going to have, even in power, which is going to be in the national grid. Now, we are focusing now, finding out alternative energies, new building architectures, eco materials that can be done, green innovations. And this is all our part of our innovation that this institution is taking. Now, friends, you might put up a question in your mind. Sir, solar panel, it is not something new you're talking about it. Yes. But you see, when we talk about greening campus, when we talk about greening research and technology, by adopting new innovation, new technologies, even in solar panel, there is a lot of change which has taken place in the last 10 years. Now, solar panel has become very cost effective, very economical. But most important message that we would like to give when any student, any teacher who visit our campus, when they see this is a sustainable campus, where we become a role model for the teachers, we become the role model for the learners who are visiting our campus, that this is possible, and we can demonstrate ourselves that all the electricity what we are consuming is coming from the renewable energy sources. And this is very, very important. This message should go, and it inspires people. You know, when they go back, they also think that yes, water harvesting is possible, solar panel is possible, greening campus is possible, waste management is possible, electricity generation through waste is possible, water conservation is possible. You know, all these things, small things, take a big lift that we are trying to do for greening and promoting entrepreneurial culture among our students and all that. The fourth component is green community. You know, what we discuss on the ground, I mean, what we do in our institution, we have a responsibility, social responsibility, that we reach out to the community at large. And that's why it is very important that promoting green education, adding value into the education, creating awareness program for greening, good practices at grassroots level, green lifestyle, what can be adopted. And you can see here, these are real photographs. These are all our employees have gone to different community nearby our institution and have educated about the importance of, you know, environmental sustainability, how climate change is happening, how they can make small changes to make their lifestyle as a green lifestyle. What are the good practices they can do at, you can see here one of our staff is, you know, promoting and advocating the greening aspect and all these things. So this is what we want. Educational institutions should not remain within their boundaries and campus, rather than whatever they are discussing, whatever they are debating, should also be reach out to the community at large and all that. Last, friends, is the green culture. You know, what we are all trying to do is having a deep impact on our culture. And through this particular venture, we would like to educate, we would like to cultivate a green culture for greening technical and vocational education by focusing on that we care for our environment. We are conscious about how to conserve the Earth's vitality and diversity. We are also having a lot of concern for the future generation. And we also would like to promote the green lifestyles. And in order to do this, you can see here, this is again another photograph which I'm telling you, this how people are doing on promoting green culture and all that. And I myself is also actually involved in all these initiatives that we are taking on the ground. on our campus and all that. I wish some of you can visit and really see whether this is really happening on the ground or not. What are our success and all those things you can see about it. So friends, while doing all these things, there are many challenges also I faced. It is not that it is easy to promote all these things, but when we talk about all this greening initiative at institutional level, the first challenge was inertia. Lack of understanding on sustainable development goal was a major challenge which people were having in this institution. Then the willingness to learn. Willingness to learn and experimentation. Very few employees were ready to do all these things. Then attitude, status quo maintain, and inflexibility.
Sir, your voice is not audible.
Value and supportiveness to the environment on this particular campus and all that. Friends, we just started our journey. I know there are many things that we have to do about it. As
We have lost the audio again, sir.
we are now focusing on how we can strengthen in the school system, because every state, every union territory has to offer vocational education. Second important thing is, you'll be pleased to know that now pre-vocational education will be introduced in classes 6 to 8, for which we have already developed certain guidelines. We have also developed modules. We have developed videos how they can introduce the pre-vocational concept into the classes 6 to 8. So that we are going to focus on it. We are also parallelly working on 10 model schools. We would like to set up 10 model vocational schools in India, and there our focus will be there. In addition to that, our focus is on digital resource development for all the vocational courses. So almost 100 videos and PowerPoint that we'll be developing for all the textbooks which are published by our institution. As I mentioned we would like to give more choices to the students, more avenues for the student to encourage them for vocational education. So we are going to add another 25 new job roles, and we'll be developing the curriculum in the coming years. And this will be all Industry 4.0 driven and the emerging demands of the industries in the near future. And last but not the least, I'm also happy to tell you, we have launched a diploma program. First time in India, diploma in vocational education and training. And this is a 1-year program in distance mode. So our new batch will be starting very soon. We'll be releasing the notification in the next 10 to 15 days. And all of you, those who are interested to connect with vocational education, you feel that there is a huge growth and you feel that you can also contribute for the growth of this, I'll be happy you can connect with these particular programs and all that. So friends, having said all these things, let me end up with a beautiful quote with Mahatma Gandhi ji, which always inspire all of us, is that the world has enough for everyone's need. The world has enough for everyone's need, but not enough for everyone's greed. So thank you for wonderful your attention to me. I hope these real experiences on the ground must have give you some new thoughts, new ideas, will encourage you that you can also take the agenda forward and can do something better, so that we can really realize of thinking about promoting green